Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ideally Though.
Ideally, though.
I'm your host Erica, and with me is my hubby, my bestie, my Butterbeer Squad.
Yeah. What up, yo?
Happy 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, happy 4th of July.
I hope
Yeah.
everybody's staying cool.
I mean,
It's been
yeah.
getting hot over here,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then we have like small little like tornadoes here in the
Yeah.
valley.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, because Vegas weather is so unpredictable. Like
I,
it was raining, it was windy, and then the
they
devil's ass crack came out.
that's funny because when I used to work in the casino industry, whenever a Midwesterner would come out and I would
Hmm.
like had the chance to talk to them, they would be like, "Your weather is just like Midwestern weather, where it's like you can wear a coat and shorts and sandals and a beanie just in case,
I
you
do
know what
not
I
feel
mean?
that way. I do
And
not feel like
I mean,
that.
I've never been to any areas like that. We're talking like
But to
Milwaukee and
switch
shit,
your
but
outfit, that's not Vegas. You
I
get
mean,
pretty much one or the other.
it's got crazy weather is what they were speaking to. That's what
Mm,
they were saying. I knew what they meant at the time they were telling me, but yeah, they were just saying, we have crazy and really unpredictable weather. It's gonna be hot, but then you have those like moments where it's like, oh, it's sunny and it's daytime, but we also it's raining. And
I respect that in July for some
you know
reason.
what I'm saying?
Like summer showers, but like, god dang it, it was like
Yeah, and
light poles falling
having
down.
tornadoes. Yeah, right. We have crazy
Yeah, what is
weather.
going
Many
on?
ones all over the valley too. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Dust everywhere. Did it like cause a bunch of like physical damage or some physical damage or some shit
Yeah,
like
like
that?
remember I said the light poles and stuff when that well I saw multiple. I was like,
Yeah, they said something about
damn.
like 25 or 30 light poles down.
So the trees probably came down too.
Yeah, there were a few trees I saw.
I mean, I went to the gym and I was like, damn, it's kind of windy,
Mhm.
but it wasn't like as bad as like other areas that people
Yeah,
are talking about.
yeah.
So
No, it was interesting to see all the carnage that came out of fucking nowhere.
you know why? Probably because of the verdict with Diddy. That's probably God
Man.
punishing us because we don't know how to like get justice for people. I feel like
Oh,
that's what's going on.
oh.
Let me just read off like these. So he has 5 counts and 3 of them he's not guilty on, like the worst ones.
Okay,
Makes no
okay.
sense.
Go ahead.
Um. Okay. So all right, Diddy was found not guilty on count one of racketeering conspiracy, count two, and okay, yeah, racketeering conspiracy, count two and four of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion.
Mm,
So count one, count two, and count four, he was not found guilty of.
okay.
So no sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion,
Yeah.
which I feel like that was like shown on freaking tape. And then count one is racketeering and conspiracy, which I was like, oh, that was like it could sway either way with that first one.
Yeah.
But two and four, I was just like, okay, really?
Yeah.
Coercion at least? Like I'm just saying, like this wasn't every girlfriend he just found, or anyone that was kind of low key. He like literally had them doing the freak offs. But he was found guilty on count three and five of transportation on engaging to prostitute. So
Okay.
those were both those counts, the
Okay.
same thing.
Okay.
Um,
So essentially paying someone from like out of state or some shit like that to like
bring somebody in.
bring somebody in to like have sex essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, I
And
suppose.
those like really just carry a sentence of like about 10 years. So he could literally probably do like half of that. I mean,
Right.
I saw sketches of him like hovering over his chair like so happy, and then I think his lawyer like asked for like immediate release, and the judge was like, yeah, no,
Mm.
hell no. So he's supposed to be sentenced in October, so October 3rd. But I think the judge is willing to move the date up. So I think
Interesting.
next
Okay.
week they might have a hearing about moving the date up.
To see what they could do for earlier sentencing, right?
Yeah, and then
Okay.
probably him getting like I really feel like the justice system failed women. Like now it's just like
Like
yeah,
it has
like
been.
legit grab them by the pussy. Like these powerful men who have been doing this for years. It got scary because oh shit, Diddy's probably one of the bigger ones, got caught and he got free. This is not going to help anybody, and you wonder why women don't, or anyone victims, they don't come out
Yeah.
because of fear. But then also I put everything on display,
Like what?
and
At
then
what cost? What
at
am I
what
going to
cost?
benefit from
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
and he's only found guilty on 2 counts, and we don't even know what the hell that's gonna look like when it comes to his sentencing.
Man, that's really wild. After all of that, like evidence. I mean, listen, from everything that I've actually come together, I haven't heard any of this most recent news. But over watching the trial for a bit, right? Like Diddy definitely had a hand in a lot, if not all of the shit. Cassie took advantage of some things in it. I could say that she isn't like as innocent as everybody said that we thought of in the beginning with when the initial like video of her getting kicked and shit came out, right? Because she threatened like to bury somebody and I have the resources and all this stuff. It felt very
Mm-mm.
extortiony and shit. So I'm not saying that like because she's definitely not the one on trial, so I can't put anything on her.
I feel like the
But
way is like this. Like, we're
but
really gonna be.
you're still as a system failing all these other people whom he's actually, at least from what optics say, definitely abused. And I'm talking from psychologically, from like what he did with Kid Cudi with throwing a Molotov cocktail in his car,
Mhm.
to like breaking into his house and opening up all of his Christmas presents.
I mean, he did the same thing with like Cassie.
You
Like, I was
know,
like
like
literally
that's
stalking her.
psychological and shit too. And you got to understand that that type of abuse, you know what I mean? That stuff is real. So like you're never going to fully see, I feel like in within these, for a while at least, like full justice for people.
I thought I wasn't gonna see the antics so early, but on social media, I saw like Ray J celebrating, and was like one of his release, and then
Yeah.
Tiny.
Niggas
I
out
saw I saw her too.
niggas was outside dumping baby oil on each other and shit outside the
This is
courthouse from
so
what it looked like.
stupid.
Yeah.
And as a black woman, I expected more out of her. But I remember her and Ti, they be into their own little freaky show. Or was back in the day when they both had to go to jail, and they had all that shit going on. That was kind of, it wasn't so similar, but there was a hint of similarity
Mhm.
with it. That's why it makes sense. But I was
Got Diddy
like,
dust sprinkled
really?
on it.
Yeah, I was like, really, Tiny? Like, you really go
Yeah.
just shut? Did you have to say something? This is disgusting.
Niggas are gonna there are gonna be those ones who are going to be contrarian. You always are going to have a
You was
contrarian in
quiet
a
until you
way.
found the verdict. No, go ahead,
Yeah, and there was a lot
speak.
of those people who were quiet beforehand, before getting any type of verdict or anything. Diddy, I think he's definitely gonna have to serve some bit of time, right? So we're seeing him get locked away. Eh, Not for the things we would think, of
Hmm.
course, but that's just the way the justice system goes as far as we've seen, and we've come to know. But I don't think Diddy or his family fully recovers in the public opinion of things at
I don't
all.
think they
Like
do.
the court of public
It's.
opinion at
I
all.
think they do after a while because of the short, like,
Short
freaking.
term memory of
Yeah,
people.
I think they do. It's just gonna take 5 to 10 years.
Look, if niggas is still out here calling Chris Brown the complete abuser and not being able to let a person like have the room to grow, then I think that same type of jacket needs to be stapled on the back of Diddy from all of the clear cut evidence we've seen.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope there's
So,
big fines because usually what really hits powerful people like the most is hitting their pockets.
yeah, of course,
So
yes.
he might only have to serve a little bit of time. Time served, who knows? Or maybe a couple years. But I need to see him really suffering that way because that takes away like him being able to do this again.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I see what you mean.
he has so much money, expendable money, that he's able to do things like that. It's at his reach at any point.
Hmm.
Take the money away, and he's a regular nigga with buck teeth that can barely dance. And who giving that play?
But T
So
who could barely dance
I'm
is
just saying,
crazy.
like, it's the money. People get bored. I saw this interview with Will Smith, and he was saying like, does money buy happiness? And he was like, hell no, fuck no. He was like, it's almost like when you're about to hit rock bottom. He said, when you hit to a certain point, like over 1 million a year, it's like he called it the cliff dive in a sense.
Mhm, mhm,
Because
mhm.
nothing satisfies you. Certain sex doesn't satisfy you. Just things don't satisfy you because it's just at all at your reach. So at that point, it's really looking within and seeing what you need to do and work on.
Yeah.
But I think that's beyond Diddy's like mental. If I'm being
Capabilities.
honest, he needs like extensive therapy, shock therapy.
Shock therapy is
lobotomy,
hilarious.
all that. He might like it. I don't know.
Yeah, especially if they put the cables on his nipples.
Right. So I think it's like I don't know. He needs a lot of therapy, the kind
Yeah.
that Kanye needs. I'm surprised I haven't heard Kanye, but shit, come this weekend he might be celebrating. He have his swastika and then he'll have his clan outfit, and then he'll have a Diddy shirt on. I love you so much, you just like my daddy.
Yeah.
Saying some dumbass shit
He'll be
like the
back at it
coon
again.
he is. So fucking ridiculous.
Uh, I don't think they truly do recover at all
I
personally,
do.
because I would, in my perfect utopian world in my head, we stapled that jacket on Diddy's back, because niggas have been saying it for years that he has been gross. We just witnessed a federal court case with all this different types of evidence that, like, basically was like, oh yeah, no, he's been like a ruthless type of nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Duh, for
We
a long
shouldn't forget
time.
that type of stuff in the first
If
place.
R. Kelly was able to get away with it,
Yeah,
he would have recovered. Not
of
all the
course.
way, but he would be able to walk the streets and feel comfortable. And that's what I think Diddy's going to be able to
I
do.
think that's one reason why they couldn't pin the RICO and stuff on him, because everybody else who probably would have been implicated in the RICO also testified against him and had immunity,
Well, yeah.
because they all would have been implicated in it in one way, shape, or form, right? So that's one reason why those other charges didn't stick, and that sucks. At least that's what I truly do believe, because I mean it's overwhelming evidence to see that, like, Diddy is a garbage person. You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
people been knowing that sucks because we've been
Again,
getting
speaking
away
to my
with it for
point.
so long. It's just like once the Me Too movement came around and people really, when we really had to hold people accountable. Like if we weren't into that, niggas will still be doing what they fucking doing, and we'll be like pretend like we don't know.
Yeah.
So with this, it's really a test to see how we act when he does get home. It's because he's gonna lay low key for a minute, but then he's gonna pop the fuck
Do
out.
you think so?
Yes, I think he's gonna. What's going on outside? It's quiet. Okay, I'm gonna dip my toe in and
Man.
see how much he
Now,
can get away with.
now I'll ask this, and this is strictly just a hypothetical. Putting yourself in Dave's shoes, how do you feel you could do that?
Oh my god,
How do you have I know, right? Icky. But how do you feel like you have the audacity to do that as a human being? I wouldn't.
bro?
Me
There's
personally, I couldn't do
uncles and there's predators and people's family
it.
that walk around acting like they never touched these girls and
That's
boys
fair.
and be at the barbecues and standing right next to them.
I guess that's fair.
It's possible,
I guess that's
and
fair.
he's feeling justified because I'm not guilty on some of these, and
I mean,
and you
OJ
can
said
listen
he
to
didn't
people who are
do it.
yes men who
Yeah.
are like, no, yeah, Cassie, we don't point fingers at her. She's a victim. I don't. We're not talking about anything with her. We're talking about him. She's the victim, and he's gonna feel justified. With all those people were like, yeah, no, 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 no. So
She's
yeah,
not the only victim.
yeah, that we had that Jane Doe. There's multiple people, and then R.I.P. to Kim Porter because we still ain't know what the hell that was
This
about.
is just some craziness, man.
So
It's
I
it's
mean,
wild.
it's the
It's
same
wild.
if I have to think about like a family member or a family friend who touches on the kids in your
Mhm.
family walking around like they didn't do
Mhm.
anything. So
Yeah.
he's gonna be fine to do it.
Look, that is an absolute plausibility, and you know what? Maybe in due time you will be found to be right. I'll try to remember this conversation in that time. But in my perfect little world, I'm going to sit back and look at Diddy and the people who champion him as the same type of ringleaders in the RICO they should have been uh, uh, jailed for.
It sucks because you even look at people like Drake Bell, like when he did Quiet on Set. That man is walking around. He went to jail for a little bit, got out, started working at Disney, has 40 letters from people as
Mhm.
big as Alan Thicke,
Mhm. Mhm.
saying I will work with him tomorrow. And how is I wish people would put themselves in the victim's shoes. They have to probably be in hiding while this person is gonna feel a little freer to walk around. They have to worry about something happening.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. What's interesting, you saying that made me think about this conversation. I was just watching the JBP Patreon, and they had Nori on there. Drink Champs Nori, and he was speaking kind of about Diddy stuff, and he said, like, Diddy helped him on so many times in his life. He's like, you know, it, him doing the stuff that he has done, I've never personally seen,
No one
and I
has.
could sit back and say like I don't believe he did that, but then he did do it, so it's disgusting, but it's hard to see it from the opposite side because he did so many, and I'm like, you have to put those things aside because like away from your personal self, you have to think about like just human decency.
Like I said, it goes back because to the family friend and things like that. There's more people than not that love him because of the things he's done for music and personally for people's
Hey,
lives.
maybe you're right.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got me out of jail. He did that. Yeah, but he ain't touch your ass, and that's because y'all don't have that relationship. He ain't gonna invite you to the freak offs because he didn't try to test the waters and then he found out you was all the way straight. These men are, especially the men. These men are weird. You're not gonna see that side of Diddy,
I
especially
mean,
when you acting like you think. Okay, if DMX was still alive, I know he's probably had his opinions, but I'm just saying, when you get a nigga like DMX, you think Diddy gonna show that side to a nigga like that?
mm,
Oh, risking getting his ass
not at
beat?
all. Not
Come
even in the
on now.
slightest. Not at
Exactly.
all.
This is real street niggas that don't play that shit. So they're only gonna see the masculine side, this mogul
The
side.
persona, if you
Yeah.
will. Yeah.
We
It's a facade.
behind the curtains with the baby oil is the real, that's the real him.
Yeah, behind the facade, definitely,
So
definitely.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's I people need to look beyond like, oh, he helped me out or he did so much for me. Yeah, that's nice, but there's a really sick side to him that unfortunately you're not going to be able to see. So does that give you the right to
I
question?
think it's not even not going to be able. I think they're more willing. They're not willing to look at that side,
Because they can only put themselves in the position where they were side by side with him or in front of
and where
him
they
and
helped
they
him.
got
They
nothing
got help.
but and some people unfortunately can't see those sides of people. Like some people are like good, like like I always said that I can like read people in the sense and things like that. I can feel when they got the bad spirit on them and stuff like that. Some people don't see that. They're blinded by money. They're blinded by I need to get to the next level of my career.
Mm.
So because that's where a lot of people are meeting Diddy, right? Their careers. So I mean, it's gonna be hard for people, especially men, because a lot of men ain't getting touched.
How do you not get caught for coercion with all those types of instances, just like you spoke about, like meeting him in your career and he could tell you like, oh, I can make you become bigger, and then you got to end up
I
with
have a question.
the cummy
If this
nipples.
was reversed in the sense of these were men testifying, will we get a different verdict? I feel like the world tends to believe men more than women
Mm. Mm.
because there's always like, oh, there's some kind of person again with her.
I wonder. You
I'm
know what?
just
Never really gave it any thought, but having to give it a little, just a smidgen of thought, not much. Um, yeah, we probably would have got a different a different one, and a lot more people would have probably been implicated in it. A lot more people would have been implicated instead of just Diddy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot less immunity would have been around. You
I
know
have
what I
a
mean?
question. Have they talked about these so-called tapes and videos hidden in the walls? Like he would secretly tape because I feel like there's a reason why he's not guilty on things. You got
Because
judges and lawyers probably on these
a lot of
videos.
those people would be implicated in the crime, in the RICO. Yeah,
Come
definitely,
on now.
definitely, definitely. Grossness has occurred
And we
with
just want to keep
some
the
real
gross people on
federal
top.
people, man, for real.
We're not getting rid of the bad people. We're getting rid of selective ones and keeping the
Mhm.
gross guys on top.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
gross.
It's all a game they're playing. It's all a game they're playing.
Well, I mean, on to happier news. I saw Haley Bailey in Italy. So, she's filming her movie. I think she's supposed to be out there for 3 months. And she was on a yacht. Dang TMZ or whoever the fuck got these drone shots. But she was on the yacht with Abu. And we come to find out is one of Kendrick's producers, Scott Bridgeway. So he kind of looks a little similar
Oh,
to DDG. Yeah, he did a lot on
GNX.
the
Yeah.
recent album. So and then also Super Bowl too. So
Hmm.
but yeah, so I was like, yay, girl.
Good for her.
Now I was thinking this, but I got a little confirmation. But I was thinking, I wonder if DDG would come out if he was upset and be like, she was messing with him while we was together, on some spiteful ass shit. But he's in Italy right now with India Love. And I think we're
Okay.
having a little ode to tell. He can get his mind straight. But he said that if he ever says that he loves you in his life, he wants to see you happy. And he said those type of things like that doesn't bother him. I believe he was speaking about Haley and things like that. And he's like, I'm a generally happy person, so like that doesn't that doesn't affect me. And again, if I say I love somebody, then I do genuinely want to see them happy. And I thought that was very mature because there's not enough people who like we get into these relationships, we have kids with these people, and they're supposed to be our family for life, especially if you end up having kids with them. We love to say, "Oh, when they turn 18, I have to deal with you," but like for me, I feel like we're family.
Hmm.
So if things happen, I still feel like we're family, but you gotta be willing to want me to be your family and not be like upset about moving on. So I thought that was really mature of him. And maybe it just took him having to be in a relationship because if he was single, maybe he wouldn't feel the
It's
same
India
way,
love. Yeah, of course.
you know, because she a baddie, you know.
Yeah.
But I would love to think in a perfect world that he's like, no, okay. I'm just saying he is young, so you know he's just, but he is distracted now, so he doesn't need to
Exactly the point.
say. But you don't think that?
Nope.
Oh, so you know that y'all ain't shit if y'all have to get in a relationship first to be happy for the next person.
He's not gonna be no, you don't have to, but he's just doing what young people naturally do.
Yeah.
Everybody does this fumble at least once in their life. Everybody does this fumble at least once in their life. So that's all it is. I mean, you got to put on a face. The same way I said that both Cardi and Offset are hurting,
Hmm.
and they got to step outside to do certain things and show
It's a
certain things. And
distraction,
it's just a distraction. That's literally all it is.
but
It's
nobody
never.
wants to.
That is all. All I think the maturity level, the maturity factor is there because the words are mature. But do I
Yeah,
think that he believes the words that his PR
probably
wrote
not.
him? No,
Hmm.
I don't. I don't believe that.
Well, honestly, even like Tiana Taylor, she. This is a perfect example of like someone being mature and saying, "This is my family, and you got your own thing going on, I got mine. Why can't we still just be a family in the sense of having each other's back?" But I'm gonna be honest, in my experience of dealing with breakups, the men are just so spiteful. They so mad. That's why I'd be like, get you somebody first, so then you can leave me the hell alone because it's no fun having to deal with someone being mad at you and then there's kids involved. There's
Hmm.
a baby involved, you know,
Hmm.
because that's gonna be used as a token. That's like a
Yeah.
way you can piss somebody off, either if it's the mom or the dad. But in my case, you know, that's how I won't be mad at you until you start fucking with me. You know how to fuck with me with my kids. It's like go do your thing.
Yeah.
Like don't worry about me. But I was like, okay, he seems, but I knew like, he is distracted because he got his own little thing
Yeah.
going on. If he wasn't, then I
No.
was like, I would he be as mature?
He'd
I
be
don't
making a
know.
funk because he's been making a funk about everything else before.
That
This
is
is to
true.
clean up the act because of all the other shit he's had to deal with to get close to being able to be in Italy with
Be
like parent
nice
or
and stuff
supervised
will
custody and
happen.
shit. So he has to do this, but inside, nigga, he's reeling. Every man would be, and one way you get over it eventually, but every man would be, and even in those instances where they're spiteful, as you say,
Hmm.
they're spiteful because real true feelings are still involved. It
Yeah.
it's naturalized, but I mean, hey, look, Godspeed if it was real. You know what I
I,
mean?
I I would like to hope, but then, you know he's beefing right now with that guy Reggie, that streamer
Oh, really?
that's in like Kai Cenat's.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah.
going back and forth.
Hmm.
I saw Reggie. He had a little like what's those shiesty on, and then he started playing Beyonce's Halo,
Balaclava. God
whatever.
damn it.
But he was playing Halo like to really dig at DDG. He was like this gonna be a thing. Like he wants to fight. He
Mm.
wants to fight Reggie. Like I
Oh,
don't know if he wants to do
interesting.
a boxing match. I
Well,
think he had reached out to A Ross. Like
they'll
I
do it.
really want.
They'll do it. They'll make it happen.
He called him broke. He was like, "You only make $100,000 a month." I said, then I'm real poor."
Oh, I hate the timeline I'm in, man. I hate the
Like
timeline I'm in.
sheesh.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
so I don't know too much about that streamer, but if
Yeah.
you do, like, but
I,
yeah, they're going
I
back and forth.
don't pay too much attention to that streamer in particular, but I mean they'll make it happen if the beef
Yeah.
gets big enough. Yeah,
Oh
it'll
my
be a
gosh.
match.
So remember last year we went on vacation and we did the cruise, right? We did Royal Caribbean. And I knew I was gonna go in between probably Carnival or Royal Caribbean, but I knew how I was feeling. I didn't want to get crazy turned up. And you know, if you get on the Carnival, Carnival is known to be the turn up cruise ship.
Mm-hmm.
All the niggas be on the Carnival cruise.
Yeah.
Well, Carnival didn't have a fuck enough. They said no more drink package. They said if y'all getting fights, because Carnival known for getting it, the people getting in fight. They
I was just
said
gonna
when
say that.
we dock, y'all getting off. They don't care where they at. You getting off. You can't get back on, and there could be up to a $5,000 fine. 5,000 or 500, whichever one is still a lot to me.
Yeah.
No more fans. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Maybe the Beyonce fan. I don't know.
Mm.
That's the thing. If you leave your chair unattended for 45 minutes, the people who are the crew could like take your stuff and throw it away, like I guess drinks and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. They're getting rid of hip hop music. They is not playing with them people who be riding Carnival. They said fuck you. There's a curfew. They're
Damn.
not playing with them.
Damn. That sucks, dude. That's all the fun shit.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we was on Royal, so
No, that's what I'm
we
saying. But
had
they
fun,
had the
but
same shit. I mean, you know,
it was probably just a little weird. When you get on Royal, to me, you looking for a little. You looking for a turn up, but you ain't looking to be crazy.
all the things you
We
said are
not in our third. We're our 20s.
all the things you just said are just like standard to like cruise ships. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Not like the just not only just the vibe, but like those are standard. Like drink packages are
No, they
standard.
said fuck y'all. Y'all
Like
not
so
about
that's
to
what I'm
get drunk on
saying.
our
Like that's
boat.
all the cool shit they got rid of. Why would you even go
Y'all
to
not
the
getting drunk on our boat.
That's crazy. Hey, just you want to just take a loop on the boat because that's basically all you're gonna be able to
Yeah,
do.
y'all not gonna be able to sneak in y'all alcohol in Listerine
That's
bottles and all
wild,
that stuff.
yo.
Because I'm pretty sure what happens is they'll be looking at people who like are on TikTok saying like, "Oh, guess what I did? You know, I snuck this fifth of Hennessy on the boat." My thing is about that is, and this is, I understand people are like, I already paid a lot for a cruise or whatever. Cruises can be pretty cheap until you add the drink package to me. So I can understand people saying I want, but I don't want to drink the same drink. Like
Drink
with me,
drink
what
package
last
is needed.
yeah, last year I was drinking everything. I needed an after breakfast drink. I need a before lunch drink. I need an after dinner drink. I need a drink.
Yeah,
So
and
and I
then
want
drinks
to
for
change
those
it.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I
You can't
try to
forget
use
those.
all 15
That was fun.
of my
Good time.
drinks.
Good time.
So that's why I hear about Carnival.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
pretty whack. That's pretty whack as fuck. But
No, they tired of they shit.
I hope the people who are like, hey, don't like start to like plan on moving over to the Royal Caribbean
Please
side of
don't.
things, because then you're just gonna ruin that thing, and niggas can't ever have nothing nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So damn, dude,
Yeah.
that sucks. That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you have something you wanted to talk about? I thought you said you had something.
I did. I did. In gamer internet world, um, there is a current movement going on, at least within the last next few weeks, or next couple of weeks of
Mm.
the month of July, called "Stop Killing Games."
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Uh, last episode I had mentioned like a pirate software at the tail end, like that shit
Yeah,
wasn't
I was
cool.
like piracy.
Yeah. Well, it's bigger than just me saying all that. This movement is a movement in the EU and in the UK at this moment in time that could possibly offer up legislation for digital media as far as video games go. Who knows if this is successful? It could branch into other things, right? But it's really important to grasp the full initiative that this is.
Hmm.
This started about a year ago by a guy named Ross. He's a Accursed Games on YouTube, and uh, Ross made up a proposal that essentially states that, hey, I paid, in the most layman terms, I paid like hard earned money for like my video game on whatever platform it is. Doesn't matter what platform it is. But I paid hard earned money for that. And if the when I am logging in or signing into the game, in their agreements it usually says something around the lines on most games, especially if they have like an online capability. They say that the company can basically terminate the service at any point in time without ever without any other recourse. You know, they don't have to
Hmm.
refund you, they don't have to like give you the executables, they don't have to do anything. They could just do it whenever they want,
Oh
right?
wow.
And that happened to a game called The Crew, which was a massive multiplayer online experience where you got to like customize your cards, and race around like the country with other people on like
Mhm.
a giant server. It happened a few years ago. Ubisoft canceled it and cut it off. It just ended the service. So people who have bought that game, it could sit in their library, but they can never play it
Oh
at
shit.
all. You know what I mean? And essentially, we're licensing video games at this moment in time. We are licensing video games. We don't own the video
Yeah, I need to
games.
own it for the rest of my life so I can play
Yes.
it.
So that's basically the initiative is like, hey, we would like to own our video games after we buy them. And the initiative is asking that developers, when they are in the moments of pre production, to include a end of life plan for the game. When you're getting ready to not support this anymore,
Yeah.
what's the end of life plan?
It's just like when we have physical copies of games. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
playing on the Nintendo 64, you playing like okay, they don't that game doesn't exist in a sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I can still play it. I can
Yeah.
still so
Yeah.
why is it like now digital like
Right. It's
an
so easy
issue?
to distribute the games now, and they don't have to make CDs or cartridges, except for like Nintendo, because they're weird. It won't, get the program. But, um, all that stuff, manufacturing costs money and shit. So now everything's gone on the digital distribution side,
Yeah.
where you just go to whatever your platform is, Epic, Steam, GOG Games, or GOG.com, or whatever the case may be. Um, with the digital distribution, you're still licensing something. So if they decide to take it off that marketplace, or if they decide to stop whatever service, the developers can do that, and there is no recourse. This initiative is important because it could stretch on many bounds. The biggest example being that Apple, we all have Apple USB Cs now because of the EU. The EU was like, hey, your lightning cables are stupid. And we don't want to have to pay extra just because for one fancy cable that you are the only
Yeah.
distributor of. So
Make it
everything
universal.
else is USB C. Make yours USB C, or you can't sell your stuff in our country anymore.
I love the standing up for that
Right.
because it
It's a
just made it
consumer
easy.
right.
Yeah.
This initiative stands for consumer rights. And about 11 months ago, a huge platform on YouTube called Pirate Software uh, misinterpreted all of the proposal and basically shit all over it. He was incredibly rude to the creator Ross. He
Hmm.
was incredibly rude. Called him a used car salesman. He said he didn't know what he was talking about. The guy has a bachelor in criminal justice, so he's taking like the legal route, like going that route. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? If if this thing gets over a million or so signatures, it goes straight to Parliament where they have to talk about it because enough people care about it.
I've seen that on Princess Diaries
That's dope. I wish we had an initiative out here in the states like that. That is sick, Pearson's Diaries. You
In
big dork.
Genovia.
You're such a
They went to Parliament.
So, as of right now, the movement's gotten some steam because Accursed Games came out with a video about mid last week or so, or mid last week or so, and said like, hey, pirate software kind of caused us to have a huge dip in any of the progress we made because like the numbers was stagnant. It was like at 300,000 for months. Like nobody was like hitting this thing up. Nobody cared about it.
Hmm.
If you're outside the states, you can't sign anything. So it really is dependent on the EU, coming together as a collective. And well, with Pirate Software making those disparaging comments about the entire initiative and Ross, people look to him for a lot of advice because he speaks with a lot of authority
Hmm.
and he's very at least intelligent, but emotionally, I don't think so. Huge narcissist, huge narcissist. Not the greatest of guys, apparently speaking. There's been a lot of dirt that has come out, and he won't admit to his phallus or his wrongdoings and being wrong in how he misinterpreted the entire initiative. We're hoping now that if you're in the EU and you haven't heard about Stop Killing Games,
Hmm.
that you go and you look it up, do your research, and like sign it because this could lead to bigger initiatives that can change, you know, the global marketplace as a whole, and it gives us as consumers like more rights to things. We want the right to repair our own stuff. Like especially from Apple, you can't repair your own iPhone. You have to take it to Apple Genius at an Apple store. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
want the right to repair your own things if you paid hard earned cash for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want the right to be able to play whatever game you want as long as you want to if you paid hard earned cash for it. And these consumer right protections need to be established, especially because developers have never offered end of life plans for any of these types of media or games. It sucks. I'm hoping that this initiative blows up even more. We did cross, like I said, 1 million, and that's great. But some of those signatures were forged. So, in those
Hmm.
types of cases, they're really trying. If this goes to Parliament, they verify those people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They look to see if those are real people. So, we need to keep the initiative alive. It only has another couple of weeks in the month. You know, the UK one met its signature limit and it's going over, so that's also good. But the UK is different than the EU as a whole. You know what I'm saying? If the EU changes, mostly a lot of stuff like a lot of other people follow. So, hopefully this initiative, takes a turn and we can really start seeing some actual change as far as the consumer goes. We're losing rights everywhere around in this world.
Oh yeah, it's
I would
been
like for
hell.
one at least to nail it down.
Yeah, I mean, we're passing the big beautiful bill. It's been hell on wheels.
Oh yeah, the big beautiful bill.
I can't speak about it because I don't. I would need to do my research.
Um, I know a few things. Um, we'll start with the shadiness about passing a big bill that needs to be read, and that's over 900 pages in the middle
Exactly.
of the fucking night, as you normally Congress holds things in the middle of the night. No, they don't. They hold things during the morning sessions and things of that
Yeah.
nature. But with this, um, they decided, like with other things, they wanted to sneak it past, so most news coverage won't be, covering it, and less eyes. The big beautiful bill has budget cut or not budget cuts, but tax cuts for billionaires out of the ass. And the only way to afford those cuts, it's because they made serious, serious cuts to Medicaid. About
Yeah.
17, I think it was 17. It's between 11 or 17 million people who are going to lose Medicaid funding across the country. A lot of
That's
people.
so
Ton of
crazy.
people in red states. Ton of people in red states are going to be affected.
Well, I mean,
Um,
that's what y'all voted for. You know, I think JD Vance was the tiebreaker for
JD
them.
Vance was the tiebreaker,
Like,
correct?
okay,
Because it was in the house and he
yeah,
broke, yeah. It has, like, to break that Medicaid down thing into perspective. There was a list of each state and the numbers. Around Nevada is about 114,000 people that are going to lose Medicaid coverage. California is about 250,000 people. New York, it's about what was it? It's about 250,000 people. Those are all technically blue states. Technically blue states, right? Texas, it's about 500,000 people. That's a red state. So red states are like disproportionately affected by this in a
yeah.
lot of ways. You voted for this. You
Oh
voted
yeah,
for this.
absolutely.
Um, it has cuts to SNAP, which also has cuts to budget cuts for like school lunches and things like that for other, because SNAP also helps, like that program helps fund education and like school system lunch programs and
Hmm.
breakfast programs. Yeah, bunch of kids are not going to get free lunch or breakfast anymore at a bunch of schools for the next few years. um in the midst of passing this, also we have uh this clean energy thing that got cut, wherein our expect your power bills to go up a lot
Yeah,
more, because we're moving things back to, I think coal and other initiatives that were already budgeted out for like cleaner ways of handling energy got cut and put towards the billionaire tax cuts. Um, what else you thinking here?
I'm just thinking about Al Gore and global warming.
The
That's what
inconvenient truth.
I'm just saying. Like, this is. I don't know.
Yeah. And there's so much, 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 much more. It's a lot of pain and grief and suffering that we are about to experience here in the next for these next few like 4 years if we don't really seriously turn something around. But I don't think we have the ability to do so. As people were voting for this bill, there were so many Republicans that like knew they wanted to say no.
But you can't because you've already signed with the devil in a sense, right? Like that's your,
Exactly.
it's your coworker. You don't say
They're
no. You know, like you
they're
backed them already.
these people are feared of being primaried in the next couple of
Yeah,
years if they say anything that they speak out against about Trump. And that is craziness to me because that's you're looking out for again your own personal self-interest versus your constituents, the people who hire you, the people who voted you in, the people who paid for your paycheck at
I
the end of
feel
the
like
day.
this is how like all the movies where dystopia happens. Like this is how it starts.
Mhm.
Yeah, next thing you know, we're gonna be looking like Mel Gibson on fucking what's that movie?
Are you
Fucking
talking about Mad Max?
Mad Max. That's what the fuck we on. Y'all worried about a government? Ain't gonna be one. Shit, it's gonna be Tina Turner and Mel Gibson riding on some goddamn bikes, and
Oh shit.
Timothy Chalamet and freaking
Dune, you went to
Zendaya.
Dune.
Zendaya. Let's mix it up. That's what it's gonna
Yo,
fucking look like.
it's pretty infuriating watching all this stuff occur, and like again, it just makes me understand why like people in our age group now are like trying their damnedest to get into politics because you really want to seriously see some change. What's even more insulting is that we had the SCOTUS during the bill passing also basically state that we can now consider executive orders basically like written laws.
That's so stupid.
Like that's like they are basically just like, yeah, it's law now. It can be a law if it wants, if it's an executive order. So like anything can go, and that's super scary. Like the fact that in this big bill, ICE, the government agency ICE, has a bigger budget than the actual military.
That makes no sense.
It's you ever heard of the Gestapo? That
Mhm.
was the secret police that Hitler created.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like creating your own ginormously funded Gestapo,
Let me
basically.
say this though. Fuck around to find out. Now the Mexicans, y'all need to take some notes from them Haitians in fucking Brooklyn, cause they tried to cover them Haitians, and them Haitians beat them ICE officers up. Shit, it literally like I'd rather die
Yeah,
than go back to the
this feels
fucking,
like one of those situations.
to go back to what I had to go through.
Hmm.
Like that's like literally what that
For sure.
y'all, the Mexicans over here on the West Coast, especially and down south, and like y'all need to take some notes from them damn Haitians in New York,
Yeah.
because they was fighting back.
There's a lot of there's so much disorganization and so much misinformation and so much infighting now between everybody that
We about
nobody
to
is
form a coup.
has such a clear ear where forming a coup would probably be like, hey, we're just doing what you guys did a few years back,
I
right?
think
You
we
know, that
all
type
need
of
to
shit.
like vote in one person in each city. If y'all, since I'm starting it, I could be the one who starts the revolution, and we're gonna have to do. You know
Hey
what I'm
man,
saying? We gonna have to revolt.
it's super scary to see. It's super scary to witness. I'm watching um out and looking at so many different things that you know I would rather us all, the ones who are seriously disenfranchised in a lot of these things, coordinate, get together, ground roots this shit. We have to really be allies of one another. The American dream truly isn't dead. It's the people that are in it that are in the office right now who are causing that dream to die.
I think this was a great example of go out and vote, and your vote really matters. And also, like when
Mm-hmm.
they say what, when they tell you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
I think honestly, when it's time, when Trump's term is up, I think we're definitely gonna probably sway in the same
It'll be a
in
blue
the,
flood
yeah.
for a very long time.
I believe so. I don't think it had to get to this point to do that.
Mm-mm.
Y'all allowed that man to separate us
Yeah.
during his first term, get us confused when
Yeah.
Joe Biden was in office, and then come back like the white savior
Yeah.
and fuck us all.
I think alongside accompanying your statement there, it's like with it being such a good example, you're going to have to own this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every like people forgot that at the beginning of Corona was all Trump's idea. All the ideas that happened, all the lockdown, that was all Trump. That wasn't Biden. You know what I'm saying? But people they made it the focus on Biden. You know what I'm saying? And And we can't sit here now and forget that all of our economy and all of the fact that the dollar has lost like 10% of its fucking worth or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck, like all that, there is not a Democrat in fucking sight. This is
No,
all of
they.
you, and
Yeah.
you need to own this. So when that blue shift comes, not to even say that's the greatest thing, because I feel like we should just all commingle and have ideas and bounce everything together and come to a happy medium. But when the blue shift comes, if you're dissatisfied, again, this is your fault. You
Yeah.
got to own up to these last four. You got to own up to these last four. A whole nother war that we're about to get into. I thought you said shit was gonna stop. I thought eggs was gonna be less expensive. I thought gas was gonna be less expensive. You know what I'm saying? I thought everybody was gonna be wealthy, but the dollar's lost its
Yeah.
value. What are we doing?
No, what y'all doing? Y'all let y'all daddy get y'all in all this mess, and then y'all trying to bring me down with y'all, and it's not gonna happen. Well, is there any last words of wisdom before we head out for our Fourth of July weekend?
Stay safe on Fourth of July, even though I don't feel like it's much of an Independence Day with all the things.
It's never been. I don't celebrate Fourth of July the way
But yeah,
it's
stay
supposed to be
safe.
meant to.
And stop killing games. That's what I will say. Stop killing games.
Well, you guys remember we drop our new episodes every Friday on all streaming platforms, and we're on YouTube on Sundays at Ideally Though Pod. So like, subscribe, hit the bell button,
Share them shits.
and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Yeah.